Hello everyone, it's Lori from Stampinology and I want to thank you for joining me today. I am sharing with you a class that was presented to the demonstrators in Stampin' Up! And it was called Catalogue. So here, let me make sure this is in your, yeah, okay, you can see that well. Okay, this is a sheet I'm going to attach to, so you can download this yourself. It's free. It's going to help us out. And I'm going to show you what we're going to be doing. This is your September through December mini catalog. I hope you have one today. If you don't, you're using digital, it will work just fine for you. We're going to go to page 42. And this is what we have. This has kind of been overlooked by a lot of people, so Stampin' Up! Decided to do a class on it, and I'm so tickled because I was one of those people that overlooked it. So this is what we're going to do today. If you have followed Stampin' Up! People, you are familiar with the term one-sheet wonder. If this is your first time doing, listening to someone from Stampin' Up!, one-sheet wonder means we take a piece of 12 by 12 or 30.5 by 30.5 centimeters, and we use the whole sheet to make several cards. In this case, we're going to be making 6 cards. Now, in the original, they have chosen this suite here. So this is the, what is this called? Can't even remember. You think I could remember? Oh, dry fingers, sorry. Oh no, it's this way. Sorry. This one, Autumn Toile. So that's the suite that they use in the book. So, which is beautiful. We don't do so many autumn cards like this here in the UK, but if you did, this is absolutely beautiful. So, and I love this paper, but I love toile. One year they did a Christmas toile that was just, loved it. Anyway, back to today. So this is what they've done, and we're going to go over this with you and how to do this and how you can make these cards. You can take any suite and do this. I have chosen to use, because Christmas is coming, I feel like, but hopefully you don't call me Jon Snow, so I like to think I know a little more than him. But anyway, not only is winter coming, but Christmas is coming. And I have chosen to use the Traditions of Christmas suite. And this is one of the pages. This is going to be the page I use. And I have chosen colors from the suite. I'll show you that in a moment. These are 3 of the colors that are prevalent in the pages. Oh, see, the back side is this Starry Sky. So I have chosen Starry Sky, Old Olive, and Real Red to make my cards out of, my card bases. And then I'm going to use white as the, for labels and extra things that we need. Now here they show, I believe this is very vanilla that they have used. And this is why I'm going to go with white. And also, they use some of this bronze color that's also in this suite, but I have pulled out some gold to use in the same manner because this is still available, and I'll get that number for you and have that posted as well in case you're needing gold for your Christmas goodies. All right, and like I said, I'm going to be working from this sheet first. So the first thing, I got all my stamps out. This is part of the Christmas traditions. There's the Christmas greenery and their dies. The traditions labels, which just love. And also die set. And look at this pretty 3D embossing folder with the wreaths. That's lovely. And as you can tell, this is quite a large one too. So that's... give you that. And to add to these, I'm also going to be using Stylish Shapes. This is one of those die sets. It's been around for a while, and honestly, I think everybody needs it because these are just, well, you'll see as we go along. Those are what I've used for my shapes. All right, let's get these off to the side. We're not going to need them for the moment. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my card bases. So we'll move all these pretty things away. And let's see, we won't be needing this for card bases. We want these. So a one-sheet wonder, as I said, takes one sheet of cardstock and lays it out so we've got everything together. see, so card bases. Start here. Look at this. Hopefully you can see all that. If you are, now these are just standard, what I call book fold card bases. I think in one of the videos they called them hamburgers, but I've always heard it's called book fold. So hamburger is when the card goes this way and hot dog is when it's long. These work exceedingly well if you like that top fold, the long fold. And I will be showing you throughout the month some variations on these cards. In fact, I'm going to take one a week and show you a variant so you can, because I don't know if you follow me, hopefully you've seen my card sketches. I usually take one card sketch a month, and every week I give you a new way to use it. So hopefully you'll check that out. That's in my website under the classroom. Okay, anyway, for today, back to card bases. We're going to make 2 card bases out of each one. I work in metric, and I am using A4 cardstock, metric cardstock. So, you know, the easiest way to do this is score once, cut twice. So, or score once, cut twice. No. Score one, cut one. Now, I don't normally do this unless I am absolutely making 2 card bases, but this just makes life a little easier. So I'm going to do my score at 10.5. Or if you are working with me and you are using the metric card bases, using metric, 10.5 if you're using metric. If you are using 8 by 11 cardstock, then this fold is going to become at 4 1/4. And that's going to be your center fold. Now, like I said, I'm working in metric. So this is 14.85 that we're cutting in half here. Oops, not that. Cut. And now we have 2 card bases. We're going to do that again. I'm going to give you the measurements again. Hopefully, I won't mess them up this time. We'll see if I can get this straight. So, we're going to score at 10.5 if you are working here in metric. If you are working in imperial, that we're going to score at 4 1/4. We're going to cut the card base now, which is 4.85 if you are working with me in metric, and it is 5 1/2 if you're come on, thing ever do that to you? It's 5 1/2 if you're working in imperial. So I think that's the card bases. All of us card makers, that's probably the first thing you learn. It just sort of sticks in your head. Oh, score first. 1 score, 1 cut. 4.85. There we go. Okay, and this is this part done. I'm going to set this aside. Now you can do these random as a way to sort of decide what you want, but go ahead and fold these up. One of the tips in the class was go ahead, fold them up, lay them out, and then that way when we cut our pieces here, you can just tuck them inside and know what's going to go with what. That saves you from having lots of pieces laying around that you don't remember what the size was. I know nobody's ever done that. Oh, I did that. I was doing a class, and I was actually teaching a live class, and I was talking about the individual, you know, the sizes. It was another one-sheet wonder that we had done, but it was 2 one-sheet wonders, and we were using 6x6 paper. And I didn't mark them, so I was spending the rest of the class with my little ruler going, okay, this one goes with here, and that was embarrassing. Very embarrassing. Okay, now I am not sure which ones I want for which. I should have actually thought of this to begin with. Oh, well, I've got this. Which is which? I wrote on my catalog. I didn't have a Sharpie around here, so I just used one of my Stampin blend markers because they're alcohol ink just like a Sharpie. So this is a black Stampin blend. So if you mark these off, and I suggest doing it in the catalog, there's no reason not to. This will help us as we go along. So this is card number 1. This is card number 2. This is card number 3, number 4, 5, and 6. So if you want to take a minute and number those, I think that'll help you as we go along. Now to coordinate, these are the card pieces that we're going to use. So this is card 1, card 2, card 5, 6, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5. So if you go ahead and mark those out. Also on the piece that on the page I'm going to be including, you can see they're marked out here as well. So that'll help us out. All right, and if you want, I'll take just a second here and then I'll put it up again. I know some people like to write everything in their catalog. If you have small, neat writing, please do. But you can write these numbers down as you go along. Now, this is set up for using 8.5 by 11 cardstock. It's a different size than what we have here in Europe, which is the A4, which is 21 centimeters by 27.9. Yeah, 27.9, I think. Oh, I can never remember the length. It's embarrassing. Anyway, you guys know what it is. So when this is shorter and wider for Imperial than what a metric card base would look like. So, why did I do that? So it's going to be a little shorter this way, but about 1.5 centimeters wider. So what I have done is I have not followed this precisely. You can, and it looks okay. But it's not my personal favorite, so I'm going to show you guys for metric a little workaround here. All right, remember how we're going to do our card thing. We're going to set this here. We're going to set these aside. We're going to cut our paper, and then I'll show you my workaround. And here is my beautiful paper. Now, I'm I chose a paper. It wasn't intentionally, but this is the one I chose. It is not directional, so either way I put this paper on here, it looks good. It doesn't matter. So, if this is directional, make sure before you start cutting this that your paper is oriented this direction. This is the top and this is the bottom. Okay, and the first measurement we're going to do is we're going to cut this first column here. And as you can tell, all of these, this is a 4-inch wide column if you're working Imperial. It's 10.15 if you're working in metric. As I said, this is designed for a slightly wider card. I'm going to cut this down and make my columns 10 centimeters. Because like I work in metric, and I know a lot of the folks that watch are working in metric. If you are working in, which means we'll have a little sliver left over. But if you're working, I'll read out the numbers as if you were working in Imperial. So we're going to go along here. I'm going to place my paper at 10 instead of 10.15, which would be right there. Okay, so you can see what a tiny little bit I moved it. But personally, I think it is going to make a difference when you see the card. All right, so we're going to mark this down at 10. We're going to cut our first column. I'm going to lay these out here. Same thing, 10 and 4 inches, or 4 inches. So we're going to set this down to 10. Like this. So it's either going to be 10 centimeters, 10.15, or 4 inches. If I haven't confused everyone absolutely to death. Now, we are going to have a tiny waisty bit because I'm working the metric numbers. Okay, you would not have this if you work this page just like this. Everything would be the same width. All right, I hope I have made that clear. Now we're going to go through and we're going to cut the side pieces. So, got these laid out in order here. Oops. 1, 2, and 3. I don't think it matters that they're in order, but I don't know, I just feel like I should. So I'm going to put the top in first. Oops. So we're going to slice this one up. So the first thing we have is, here's the top of my paper. I'm putting it in this way. So like I said, if you have directional paper, this is going to be important for you. And this piece is 3.9 centimeters or 1.5 inches. So let's put that at 3.9 for us. There's that one. Then this next one is going to be 13.3 or 5.25 inches. All right, and that's the next piece down. And the last piece should be 13.3. And perfect, look at that. Or 4 inches if you're measuring. Or, no, 5.25, sorry, that's 5.25. Okay, now this is our first one. Now, let's see. We should make our selections here. I think I want, where's the one with the coloring? Card 1. Card 1, I'm going to make blue. So here is card 1. Put that in there. Now, card 2 has, some coloring on it. So do I want blue or green? I think I'm going to go with green for this one. All right, so in 3, let's do 3 in red. Just set these underneath. And 4 has the pretty gold on it. All right, so let's do 4, 5, and 6 like that. So this, as you can see from here, is going to go in card 5. All right, put that back up here. We're going to put that in card 5, and now we're going to cut our next strip. The next strip is cutting a piece for card 4 at the top. And again, I'll show you here. We're cutting this piece next. And this piece is 3 3/4 inch or 9.6 centimeters. So here's my 9, there's my 6. All right, so that's 3 3/4 inch by 9.6, and then the width that you've decided on. Again, if your width is 4 inches, if you're working in imperial, and it's either 10.15 or 10 if you're working in metric. So this piece goes in card number 4, so I will pop that in there like that. Now, card number 3 is going to be another, what I call a full face card. So let's pop this in here. Yeah, 13.3. So that'll be 13.3 or 5.25. And this is for card number 3. Let's move up and pop you in there. Okay. And the last one is card number 6. So this should be 3 inches or 6.7. And we've got 3 inches, 6.7. Perfect. And this is for card number 6. Now we're going to cut the last piece. I'll move this back. And the last piece has another short one at the top. In fact, if you wanted to, this column and this column are exactly the same. And you could just hold them together and cut them. That would probably be the easiest thing. In fact, if I were doing a class and I could actually hold up and show, make it easier for people to see, I probably would just show you to go ahead and do it in one big swipe. So again, we're using 3.9. Measure this way. And, or 1.5. This is our card number 5. It does seem to be hogging the majority of the bits and pieces. And so this one's 5.25 or 13.3. And these two will be the same size because we've basically just cut it in half again. So This is piece number 5, and this is piece number 4. Okie dokie. Now we've got all of our pieces here. Something else that you will notice is that some of the pieces are turned over, and we'll talk about that as we go through and do them. And I think that's what's so wonderful about the double-sided paper is, and this is why these one-piece wonders work so well, because you're not limited to one pattern. You actually have 2. Okay, so another thing that is handy with this, that I hope you'll use it, and if you follow me, I'm going to post one of these for the next week. This week will be this one posted, and then I'll have 2 next, 3, blah, 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 on down the road. And I will post these as individual card sketches if you would like to keep them that way instead of just one big one like this. So hopefully that'll help you along the way, because I'll just tell you guys, I love card sketches. Sometimes we just need a jumping off place. It doesn't make you any less creative to use one, because you certainly aren't going to do it like anybody else. And even if you did, if you loved somebody else's thing, I mean, flattery, I mean, imitation is the highest form of flattery. So anyway, having said that, this cutting guide will be included in the video. So if you're watching on Facebook or if you're watching on YouTube, I'll make sure and put links where you can download this. I don't know how well it's going to work on Facebook, but you can always go to the blog post and download it from there. Okay, so we'll move that out of the way, and we will move this out of the way for now. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get started on card number 1. So 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. There we go. We're going to move you guys off to the side, and we're going to start with this one. And card number 1 has, each of these cards has a different, what do you call it? I'm so embarrassed I can't even say a word. Each of these cards has a different technique associated with it. This particular technique is called ink blending that we're using. And I am going to get out. I'm going to be using, I know it's going to be scary, I'm going to be using the Dark Starry Secret Sea here. So it would have been better if I had this out to begin with, but I didn't. It's up here. There we go. And I have what I call a piece of yucky paper here. When I'm doing something like this, I put my yucky paper down. I don't want to. Okay, I'll be honest. Normally, guys, I just do it on the background. But since I got so much to do here, I didn't want it to be too yucky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink blend, and I'm just going to be going around to the corners. I'm not going to do anything crazy. There are all kind of things that you can do with ink blending. You can do the whole thing, change the color of the background, which if you look closely in at the picture, they've changed the entire background color. So I think that's pretty cool. A very popular ink blending thing to do is the type of ink blending I'm doing, which is basically going around the edges and darkening the edges. And you can darken the edges to the point where you just have a single light space inside, which is really wonderful. I think because I'm using such a dark color, I didn't want to overshadow too much of the card. There's so much gold on here, and when you are ink blending on top of gold, you have to sort of keep an eye out, and sometimes you will have to go through and gently wipe it with a paper towel, because the ink will get on the gold, but it doesn't really stain it. It just comes back off on your fingers. So that's just sort of a tip for if you're doing this. Now see, I've just sort of darkened all around the edges. Now, close this up, because I put my hands, when it comes down to it, I always stick my hands in the ink pad, and I don't know why. I'm going to show you quickly another background. Look what a difference that made. That's quite a bit. But it really pops when you see it on the card base. Now, metric, remember? I cut an extra amount here, so there was a little more showing on the sides. There's a couple of things you could do, metric people. You can just go on and slide this up. If you were working in Imperial, it would look like this with an equal amount of cards showing all the way around. Again, our metric cards are longer, so we have this. So you can slide it to the top, you can slide it down to the bottom, or you can slide it here, glue it down, and cut the bottom off. It's not wasting a whole lot, but if you prefer that look. Now, I like seeing a little bit top and bottom like that. That's what I'm going to do for this particular one. But I didn't like this coming almost exactly to the edge. So that's why I did this one this way. And you know what? I want a little more blue on this side. Now I'll be showing you a couple of different kinds of ink blending when I do this first card sketch next time. So I'm going to be using a different, when I say next time, like I told you, I'm going to be doing a weekly one. And we're going to glue this down. Do love my glue. Now I'm going to put this down here. Going to work toward getting it even top and bottom, side to side. Oops, too much. All right, there we go. And now we're going to put our labels on. So let me get that out. And I've done some die cuts and things to show you how to do this. So give me just a second and let me get those out. So I hope you like this one, the first one. I don't suppose I really mentioned, this was bright white cardstock here, and I went along and did the same thing, brushing just bits of the secrecy along the edges. It was a bit too bright to match with that, even though I left most of these little flowers bright. Sometimes you may need to adjust like that. Okay, so next one, on to card 2. All right, let's put this down. This one is fun. Now, card number 2, if you look in the book here, you can see that it's a bit brighter. I hope you can. If you've followed along in your catalog, you can definitely tell looking in the catalog and not on the video. But it's, what they have done is they had gone back with the Stampin blends. Or you can use Stampin' Writes as well, by the way. It's the Stampin' blends, and they've colored in the trees. So this this is a good example of you can see the background here. It's very, very plain. It's only like sepia tone. So they've colored the trees in darker, the deer, the leaves on the trees. Looks like they used a couple of different colors in here. So this is a great example of actually coloring in your paper. Now, my paper already has lots and lots of color here. So I didn't really want to color it in. It wouldn't have made much sense to do so. And in this case, it probably would have changed my colors too much. So I'm going to use a tip that this was also discussed in the video that I watched. So, or the class I took rather. It was a video class, but they recorded it for us. So in the class, one of the gals did this, and I absolutely love the idea. And what she did was she drew shadows around the pieces. Another way that you can do that, mine is outlined in gold, But you could, if you didn't have a gold outline, you had another piece of paper, which I don't think I have one to hand, sadly, because I keep trying to get my desk cleaned up. You can outline the pieces in black. That gives a nice effect to things. It can sometimes look a bit like stained glass, a stained glass effect. And what I'm going to do, though, is shadow, because mine's already outlined in gold. So this is how you do a shadow. You take one of the lighter colors. In this case, I'm using light smoky slate, which is not one of the colors in here, but I tend to use smoky slate whenever I'm aging something or trying to age a photograph or something. This is like one of my go-tos, especially scrapbooking. Anytime you want to create a shadow. I'm using light smoky slate. Dark smoky slate would work. But I wanted it more subtle because of the gold on here. I think if this were outlined in black, I might have used the dark smoky slate. So anyway, you can use either tip. My preference is the soft tip because as you press on it, the line gets thicker, and then as you let off of it, the line is thinner. So that's a fun thing to play with. Oh, I've got my thing already. So I'm going to show you how to do this. You think about where the light comes from. In this case, I'm kind of making it come down this direction. I'm going to imagine there's a light here or the sun here. So all of my shadows are going to be up high. They'll be to this side. Here, they'll be here, and then they'll be down below here. Now, by that, I'm going to show you what I mean. Something being in shadow. So, since the light is up here, this side of the plant is not in shadow, but this side is. So, let's put a bit of a shadow here. And I did pick up the light smoky slate. Yes, okay. This bit of the plant is in shadow, as is this part of the leaf. I'm going to go here, here. And these wouldn't leave much of a shadow. Would be something more like that. I'm not going to go, well, yeah, I'll go with the berries because I'm not going to go do the berries, but I am going to do the berries. So hopefully you can see I'm going along the bottoms of the plants. You don't have to go particularly thick or heavy because you're just adding a bit of shadow. And shadow is not necessarily even. Some can be on a bright sunny day. We certainly have all seen our shadows on the sidewalk. And they can be really, really bright. So I'm just, and as you can see, I'm going light with the tip, pressing down harder, light with the tip, pressing down harder. And that's how you get that bit of a curve to your shadow. Let's see, I'm not the best at this. I'm actually got pretty wiggly. But you see when I'm done how the effect can be. The effect can be quite nice. And remember, this color, this being alcohol marker, it will stick to the gold. You know, I told you this when you were when I was doing the blending. This doesn't stick to it so much, and you can wipe it back off. But this one, be careful because it will stick to the gold. Let's see. I'm going to add a little more. I don't know. I'm probably going too crazy here, but once you start doing this, it's pretty fun. All right. So, I forgot this one. The effect is very subtle and very light. And as it dries here, you'll be able to see let's see. Now it's still absorbing, so maybe about the time I'm done with the card, it'll be much more subtle. I think that's all I want to do. Just double checking all my dots. Yeah, all these dots have some. Yeah, I think that's all I'm going to do. All right, so very, very subtle. It's something that you won't notice unless you are comparing one sheet to the other. Can you see the difference now? I think it looks pretty good. All right, so all we've got left to do is attach this to the background and put our bits on. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to finish with a simple greeting. I stamped this season. Again, it's from the traditional greetings on just a piece of white cardstock, and I cut it out and I notched the inches. I notched the inches. You guys have inches on your things, don't you? And then I put a shadowing piece of the old olive on the bottom, and I cut a little bit of ribbon. So I'm going to make a little sort of a doodah on here for it. So let's see, let's get my glue dot. I like the glue dots for things like this. Oh, probably want some of these. I like glue dots for this kind of doodah thing because they're a little bit tougher. And they tend to hold a little bit better. Ribbon is a tricky thing. Sometimes when you put glue on it, it seeps through. You don't want seepage. Okay, that just sounds wrong. Forgive me, but we don't want seepage. So we're going to set this. Come on. Right, like that. Push that in. Now let's affix it to our card with another one. Two, we might need two. We'll do one and see first. So how do we want this? That about a third of the way up. So say about right there. Looks pretty good. And then this will go on top. And I definitely want, let's put these away. I definitely want to put dimensionals on this. There we go. Oh, last one on this card. Love that. Got a brand new card out here to use. Yay. Get rid of this. I think 3 will do it. Sometimes with a long stretch, yeah, 3's fine. Sometimes with a long stretch like this, I always wonder if I need more. If the dimensionals were smaller, I was using minis, I definitely would put more on here. Okay, and let's flip this over. There you go. Perfection. Now, shinies. What color shinies do we want for this one? The green might be too bright. Let me just hold one up here and let's see. I don't know. It's pretty good. Do you want to do red again? Oh, I wonder if I should cover some of the berries with the red. Oh, I like that idea. Let's do that. Let's cover a couple of these berries with the red. Let's see, how about bigger one here. And let's do a really big one here. There we go. Shinies. Now that is card number 2. And hopefully you can see that same paper, same stamp, same everything. It's quite a different look, even though we're using exactly the same DSP. Sorry, I'm fiddling with this, trying to get it back in the bag. I like try to keep the shiny ones covered up as much as possible because they get dirty. And that is card number 2. And then next, we are going to do card number 3. And I'm going to be using the red background on this one. Now, I've done a couple of different things for this one. So, bear with me. I'm going to shut this down a second and collect the rest of my pieces so you can see what we're doing. Okay, for this one, we're going to work a little magic. This is our card pieces, our card base. Now, this card, I don't know if you can see this. Let's get this off of here. If you look closely in your catalog, you can see there's a background on here. And what this is a very large die cut. It's almost a solid card die cut. And we don't have that in this set that I'm using. You could use a, oh, what do you call them? Ah, where's the brains? Here. Ah. I could have used this if I wanted to, but I was going to try and get a little more here than what they've got. So instead of using a 3D embossing folder or 2D embossing folder, I'm going to use a solution that one of the ladies in the class used, and I thought this was brilliant. So if you guys ever want to try to get a tone-on-tone thing that's this sort of similar look, this is what you can do. Are you ready? Ta-da! What I did was I used die cuts, and these holly leaves and berries are in the greenery die set that I'm using. And does it have a special name, I guess? No, not really, just Christmas greenery. And I cut them out of red and I glued them on here individually. It took a little bit of time, that's why I sort of did it off camera. And so I'm going to use this as the base. Now the other thing that is featured here in this is fussy cutting. I'm going to set this aside because I pre-fussy cut. I'm not a very good fussy cutter. If I practiced more, I probably could be, but I figure that's what dies are for. Oh, I'm so bad, I know. But anyway, for you guys, I did some fussy cutting. So what I'm going to do, they had fussy cut out one of, or two of the trees here, some of the bits and pieces from the toile paper. And we don't have anything quite that big. So what I did was I made my label a little bit bigger. And again, this is probably the largest one from the traditional label set. And then I fussy cut some stuff to go around it. So that's what we're going to do here. Let's see, I set this up here, something that looks good. They sort of went down to the bottom, so I'll come sort of down to the bottom here. And let's see, maybe over about like that, maybe. Because I'm thinking I want this one about there. You know what? I'm going to stick this guy down first because he is, I don't want him to fall off of this edge. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick my die cuts to my label and then I'm going to raise the whole thing up on dimensionals. There we go. So we got this one. Ooh, don't move it. That one's stuck down. And what do we think? Do we want to go? We can go over more like that. I think I like that one. All right, so I'm going to hold this down like this. We're going to flip it over, and I'm going to use Yoldi tape. You guys know I love my sellotape. And pop this on the back. Should keep that stuck down there pretty well. And I've got one more. So where should I put him? Do you want to go on top maybe, or don't know. Let's see. Could sort of continue to make that side heavy. Maybe do something like that. Oh yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, let's do that. And we'll put him right here. Let's see. How do we do that? Was it like that? Was it like that? I think we had it. Oh, I don't remember how I had it. This, I think. Yeah. Like that. Give that just a second to dry, and then we're gonna pop this up on dimensionals because we don't have enough dimension on here. Come on, folks. Put some dimensions up here. Oops. You know, I'm going to put one here because I want to kind of, I don't really want to stick them together. No, I'm not going to do that. Put it here. And put you down a little further down. There. That should be enough. You never know, you can always go and tuck one in later in the corners. Sometimes when I get ready to mail them, I put them in the envelope and see how they crush down, and that's sometimes the impetus for getting another one or two dimensionals. I sort of thought this shape echoed the shapes in the background, which is one of the reasons I was sort of keen to use this particular one. Okay, there we go. And this is card number 3. Not too bad for fussy cutting. Hopefully you like that one. So there's card number 3. Card number 4 is here. Now in card number 4, what they have done, the feature part was using large die cuts. And in this case, they used the large die cut and they cut a tree. Again, we don't have a giant tree in this. The biggest thing I have is my center area. So I die cut this directly from the paper. That is one of the really lovely things about the matching dies and papers, because very, very often check your dies against your DSPs, because a lot of times they'll cut out what's on here. And in this particular Traditions of Christmas DSP, there's a large die for this one, and then there's a large die for an upright design that's quite pretty. So we're going to be using this one, and I have gone on and stamped a label. And these are our shiny pieces that's shown. And this was our background piece that we cut. Now, that's the front side. I thought since we were using so much of this already, I would put the back side on here like this. So I'm going to go ahead and attach this down. Now, this particular set does not come with a shiny or another DSP. A lot of times you'll find matching shiny DSP. So matching shiny DSP with this particular suite was copper colored. Copper bronze. I guess it's more bronze colored. It's really pretty. It's a somewhere between copper and bronze. I think it's a very, very pretty paper, and it's worth getting even if you don't like the suite. All right, so I'm going to put this in here, centered up. So I will center mine up as well, like this. There we go. And they have put the strips on the bottom. Oh, I didn't cut those the same size. Oh, look at that. I didn't cut them the same size. Oh, well. Didn't think it's going to matter. Okay. Well, we're going to glue these down like this. And we'll go here. Get this down. So I think this shiny, I don't think you want to pop these up in this case because you may have too much going on. So I've chosen to take these brighter, shinier ones and sort of put them down flat. Now it looks to me like they may have rolled up the edges on this. I can't really tell because trying to photograph this shiny paper is challenging, to say the least. So I'll set these two in here like that. Oh, doesn't matter. I didn't cut them, just saying. I think it looks pretty good. And now I didn't do a square because, like I said, I'm so enamored of these labels. And I wanted something a little bit bigger because I don't have such a large background. So that will be this one, which I definitely think that needs to be popped up. So let's figure out how we want to put our die cut down first, I think. Kind of move it closer. It's centered up. Oh, no, not really. It's kind of over to one side, I think. So I think I may do mine over to one side as well. And I'll do the Merry Christmas like that. What do you guys think? Is it pretty good? Or I wonder if I should tilt it. Maybe do something like that. See, that's the fun part of getting these in here because you can sit and play with them. And I always have a play before I smash them down. What do you think tilting it? So it actually sort of visually takes up a little more room. Yeah, I think I'll tilt that a bit. And actually, I think I will pop it up. All right, let's hold these together when we pick them up. Oh, I love my tweezers. So I can hold that together like that. I will get out the tape, hold the tape down. We'll do the same thing as we did on the last card. You guys can tell that's a trick I like. I do it quite a bit. Oh, got that piece of tape is a little bit too long. Let me get this cut. Where's my, oh, I'll use these, my sticky ones. These labels are, this particular label is really interesting because it has a loose edge on it. See the loose edge? So you can thread a ribbon under it and it's on all sides. So you can put it in either direction, which is quite nice. All right, and now let's put this up. To me, that was one of the easiest ones. And like I said, they just die cut one of the shapes. And if you don't have a shape, because if you just see that, if I had just die cut that shape, you wouldn't know what that was. I mean, obviously that's a tree. This is a blob with sharp edges. Right, okay. Just keep going, Lori. Don't try to describe it. Here we go. I'm going to get crazy with these again. Yeah, probably shouldn't have done that, but if you go to compare the cost of using the dimensionals versus how awesome they look and what a good effect they bring to your cards, there shouldn't be. They're cheap. Not cheap. They're inexpensive. How's that? They're not cheap. It's a very good product and they stick very well. You can get them off if you have to. Don't recommend it though because they stick very well. But if you twist them, you can sometimes get them to come back apart. And let's do one more here in the middle. Get lots of support for pretty pointy things on our Christmas cards. Put this one sheet wonder thing is a lot of fun to do if you just want to challenge yourself. That's what several of the people did, that when they presented the class, they each took, there were 7 presenters all in all, I think. And they each took a page, a different DSP, and made their cards and did this. So I hope you will accept this challenge to maybe use this cutting example that I'm showing you and that I will attach, and pull your own DSP out and see what you can do with it. Okay, so this is the Lori version of card number 4. Now let's go to card number 5, which is, oh, this one has the little flaggies on it. Okay, I chose green for mine. I went on ahead and did my die cuts. You guys don't want to see me cut die. So this is, I think I actually used the same ones here. You actually use the same ones here because I love the way that turned out. So I thought, well, I'll just use it again. Now this time this bow is also one of the die cuts in there. So I just cut a round circle. And for this, I did use my favorite circle from, I've got it sitting right here. This is from the Stylish Shapes dies right here. And I used this one. So I can give you a quick, tell you what that is real quick. Or not. Let's see. It's the 7 centimeter circle. Oh gosh, you're going to want to know what inches that is. Let's see. The 7 centimeter is 2.5 inch circle. So that's, if you want to do it into circle, that's, you can either do a cutout or you can use your Stylish Shapes if you've got it. So that's what I did. I just cut out. I stamped it in the blue because I wanted to bring the blue in. And this is the one, this is card number 5. Remember, it had all of the pieces to it, the 2 little short pieces. So now I'm going to show you what to do short. I'm going to use the back, because who doesn't love green and blue? Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and stick this down, get it going. This is another great card because I liked their use. They cut these smaller pieces into a flag shape. But because one side of this paper is shiny and one side is not shiny, I like using both sides. Just come down just a shade. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our shiny side this time. These are both the same size, and we're going to hold them together. Now, if you can cut a flag shape without cut 2 just the same, then you don't have to hold them together. Let's get my snips out here, and we're going to cut up, oh, I don't know, about 1 centimeter. Sort of eyeball what the center is, and oh, 1 centimeter, about 1/2 inch for my people watching that are imperial. We're going to hold that like that from the end. We're going to cut from the end to that center bit, and whoops, come on, cut from this end to the center bit. And now we have what's called a flag shape, and they both look the same. Ta-da! Now, according to our picture here, we've got one that's about right there. Yeah, it looks good. It looks about the same top and bottom. So let's put some glue on this fellow. Let's put it back up here. That's the same top and bottom. Slide it backward just a hair. There we go. And now this piece is lowered down. It looks like it's lowered about 1 centimeter as well, 1/2 inch. Okay, let's put this one back. And now we shall put this piece on about right there. And I put them this way because I wanted you to see the brighter red against it. And this one, yeah, they've got it fairly close here. So let's do that. There we go. And there's our flag bits. And I'll put this up on dimensionals because, yay, we love dimensionals. I love dimensionals. You love dimensionals. Everybody loves dimensionals. I do have some mini dimensionals. I think I may go back and tuck it to the bottom. I'm going to see what it looks like first. How much we want those pieces to actually stand up. So this seems to be almost exactly centered. There we go. Okay, what do you guys think? That's card number 5. How fast did that come together? And I hope you can see. Now, obviously, I've already had my die cuts done. But you can sit and figure out your die cuts and you go put them all together. This is also great if you want to do this to make your Christmas cards. By using this method, you can get a lot of Christmas cards done in a short amount of time. So we will set that one aside. And we go on to the last one, number 6. I'm going to have more of my beautiful... I love this blue. It is so pretty. It's more of a gray blue than a navy, but it's really nice. Oh, let's see. I have been forgetting to talk about what the pieces were. This one was all about the die cuts and using the die cuts on here. Now, I have done it on most of mine because if you follow me, you know I love my die cuts. So, but you know, you do you. That's the whole point of this. And so this piece left over from number 6 is going to go right here in the middle. Now this talks about changing your DSP. And I'm going to use this red pen. This is real red. And my ruler. And I'm going to change up this DSP a little bit. Now you can go as crazy or as crazy as you want, I guess. Crazy is as crazy does, right? So I'm using my ruler and I'm going to color every other stripe. Now, it isn't going to take as long as you might think. The other thing, I couldn't decide if I wanted to do that or not. I was thinking about covering every other stripe and then using a triangle, but I don't think everybody has triangles hanging around. Not everybody went to drafting school, so I figured I'd just do this. But I was going to use a triangle and make lines going diagonally the other way in red, but I couldn't get them to go. I couldn't get this light blue to come up, so I decided against it. Might as well do something most everybody has. Pretty much everybody has a straight edge, even if you're just using a piece of paper. And then if you would rather, if this doesn't have to be done with the alcohol markers, with the Stampin' blends, you can also do it with the Stampin' Writes. Works just the same. They have good pigmentation, so you don't have to worry about them. You're not being able to see it. But I hope you can see that this looks quite a bit different. As soon as I get halfway here, I'm going to pull it apart and show you. It's easy to do, but it changes it up. And sometimes, because there's no red in here, and I like red, and I wanted to bring red into this card. See the difference? I could stop. I could leave it here if I wanted to. That actually looks kind of interesting. But you can see how changed it is. And how easy it is to not make your DSP look like you took one DSP and made a bunch of cards out of it. Oh, wait, that's what we did. moving it. I need a slightly smaller straight edge. This one's poking me in the chest here. Okay, still working every other. Come on. Probably should have got my sticky pad and stuck this down to keep it from moving. I can do that still. I'll just stick it under here. There we go. Oh yeah, it's much quicker doing this. Not having to fuss so much. But you can see this has made a great deal of difference. The red is still bright because it's using highly pigmented marker. You can see either marker would work. I tried this with cherry cobbler, but it actually was too dark. I wanted to use some of this gorgeous real red ribbon, so real red it was. Now, if you're looking at the picture, they did a plaid effect. Let me get that off of there. Oh, I think I've read it all over me. Yep. In the picture here, they made a plaid effect. This particular paper was very light squares, and they just took and joined the dots in the squares and came up with this plaid. And they used two colors. It looks like they used pecan pie and maybe early espresso to do that. So you can really change. See that? Oh, that's what it looked like here. See the difference? So anyway, think about marking up your DSP. Give yourself a little more stuff to work with. All right, now let's glue this down. Come on. There we go. Like this. Okay, and what I did was I stamped the pattern, which as you can see here, it's this. So I stamped that and then I colored it with the darker colors. So this is mostly Old Olive with little touches of the shaded spruce, but I wanted it to make this darker. So I stamped the real red as dark as I could get it. And this is Old Olive again. And this darker spruce. So it gave me a darker piece than, let's see, where's our other one that we did a die cut? See the overall darker feel to it? It's exactly the same thing. But when you take away all the shiny, and see the red's a bit darker, this is what you get. And then this is a piece of ribbon. And just another one of my things. Now they had a thanks and a die cut on there. So I'll put mine, they sort of have it to one side, but mine's bigger. I wanted to use the whole die cut. So it's a bit bigger. Oh, I got to have something funny to show you. So I don't know if anybody else has ever did this, but I like to, if I can stamp once, then that's how I prefer to do it. Either that or I get up my old stamping platform. This particular stamp set, Traditions, has all of these pieces are separate. So 'Tis the Season is one, Sending Love and Joy is one. But To You, Wishes, Cheer, Happy, Sending, Merry, and Bright. See, these are all separate stamps. So what I wanted to do is line them up and just stamp once. So I'll turn this back over. Yeah, probably too much. Again, if that's not enough, I'll go back and put some more on it later. Get off. And I've used so many dimensionals that these will be all over my house. They'll be stuck to my sock. They'll be stuck to my cat. Probably find some stuck to my husband. That's happened before. And he called me from work one day a couple of weeks ago and said, you know those weird little hexagon-y things or whatever you call them? He says, I've got one stuck to my computer at work. And I was like, okay. So you never know. You find them everywhere. All right, so I'm just going to put this about center here. And there we go for this one. Now, the funny thing I was going to tell you. So I stuck sending and I stuck cheer down onto my block. I like using kind of a big block. And I stamped. And I started, coloring. I did my die cuts and colored it in. And then I realized I had to do it again. Because look what I did. Oops, that's sending upside down cheer. Or you could do it this way and cheer your sending or something. So you might want to pay attention. I just thought that was really funny, so I saved it to show you. But I was getting ready to put the tape and tape it all together, and I was looking at it going, what in the heck did I do? Because when it was on the stamp, it looked fine. So anyway, folks, I hope you have enjoyed this video. We have 6 gorgeous cards for you out of 1 piece of DSP, 4 pieces of cardstock, a scrap or 2. What have I done with my scissors? I'll put them back in the case. There we go. And let's put this back out. 2 ink pads and a suite. So here we go. This is 6 and there's 5. Actually, we'll set them up like it's in the picture. There we go. Let's do this one in the center. We'll swap these. And number 1's in the center down here. And you are up here. And you are here. So anyway, I hope you guys give this a try. It's a lot of fun. Challenge yourself. Sit down and have an afternoon play. Pick a suite and go to town. And like I said, I hope everyone has a super crafty day. I hope you enjoyed this. I mentioned earlier, every week I'm going to be doing doing one of the different card sketches. Where are you, card sketches? So this week, it'll probably come out before the video does. I'm going to do card sketch number 1. And as I promised you, we did some shading. We did some edge shading here. I'm going to do a different kind of shading on card number 1. I'm going to use yet another suite of paper, or I'm going to use different papers. I won't do a holiday one. And then on 2 will be next week, then the week after, and then the week after we'll go into November. And I'll do one of each of these, highlighting the things we're supposed to do. And yes, I will do some more fussy cutting because I need to learn. So, I need to learn that. So anyway, give this a go. It's a lot of fun. And if you find just one you like, just do one of them. But these are all some things that you can do. And there's some basic tried and true techniques. Have a lovely crafty day. And if you like this kind of content, I hope you will follow. Click the subscribe button and give me a thumbs up. Or if you're watching this on Facebook, I always appreciate a heart. So everyone, have a lovely day. Thanks again.